I'd like to call the meeting to order. And Holly, if you could please call roll.
Luke Erpelding.
Morning, Luke Erpelding, representing Communication Centers.
Mindy Benson.
Mindy Benson, present, representing emergency managers.
Curtis Wilton.
Present, representing EMS.
Michelle Bischoff.
Present, representing fire.
Michael Colby.
Present, municipal police department's being represented here.
And Jeff Vandewater and Patrick Updike are both gone. Do we have any legislative members on? And we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. That brings us then to today's agenda. I would entertain a motion for approval.
Erpelding, a motion.
I have a
Benson
motion and
will
a second.
Oh, Benson will second.
I have a motion and a second. Excuse me. All those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. That brings us to the minutes from our October 9th meeting. I would entertain a motion.
Colby will motion.
I have a motion. Is there a second? Wilton, did you second?
Yes.
The room is hard to hear. If we could speak up, or that would be appreciated. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Who was first?
Colby.
Colby? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That brings us to the SWIC report. SWIC Nichols.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you very much. Just wanted to report out that the committee applications have been coming in as per the deadline. Thank you very much for submitting those on times. Our members for those committees will be reviewed and approved at next month's Isicsb board meeting. There is a communications unit leader course in Dodgeville, Wisconsin that Iowa students have been invited to. That's the first week of December. If you're interested, please sign up for that. I'm working on the Isicsb board annual report that is due soon. I will be able to present a final draft to the board for review at the next month's meeting. I believe that's all I have for the group, unless there's any questions for me.
Are there any questions for SWIC Nichols? Great. Thank you, Haley. That brings us to the 911 Council report. Program Manager DeRushi.
Thank you. Not a lot to go over today either. For those interested in program financials, obviously there's a lot of interest in that. It seems like over the last year or so, we did review the first quarter of the fiscal year financials during the 911 council meeting. So if you're interested in that, it might be worth reviewing on when we post the council meeting on YouTube later today. The only other thing I have for you is an update on our red tape rules review. That's the process that all departments and agencies have to go through to completely rescind and then redraft their administrative rules. So specifically for this community, we are in the process. We just kicked off of redoing Chapter 10, which does govern 911 phone systems. So it's a 3-step process, which takes probably around 6 months to totally complete. So we're in the first phase, the regulatory analysis phase. So the proposed language was in the October 29th administrative bulletin. And right now the time period for public comments is open until November 19th. After that closes, it will move to notice of intended action, where there will be another period of public hearings and public comments, and then finally moving into adopted and filed, which will be well into next calendar year. So plenty of time to weigh in with any public comments or attend a public hearing if you are interested. I don't really expect there to be anything too controversial within those rules. The purpose of the Red Tape Rules review process is to really remove duplicative language that repeats code, which, if you're familiar with Chapter 10, there is a significant portion of that existing rule that does just restate code. So for the most part, it's just shortening the chapter. With that, I would take any questions.
Great. Are there any questions for Program Manager Darushi?
Can you just remind me the closing date for the public comment? I know you said November. I just didn't catch the date.
November 19th, and that's just for this round, this step in the process.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are there any other questions? Very well. Thank you, Blake. That brings us to the User Group Committee. In Chair Vanderwater's absence, Swick Nichols.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Bischoff. I don't have my computer up. It broke right before this meeting, but that meeting was canceled due to no application, so there was no meeting held.
Very well. Next up is the Finance Committee. We met this week, and Holly, if you could put the financials up, thank you so much. All the financials, it was a very, very normal month. There were no atypical expenditures. Everything was as expected. So it was a very brief meeting, but we did review the financials and all is in order. Are there any questions regarding the financials? Great. Governance Committee, Chair Colby.
Morning, everybody, and thank you. We did meet on the 3rd of November. We had 3 items that we looked at here, one of which we'll discuss later in the agenda, which is Isicsb Policy 2023-02.G. So we'll come back to that later on the agenda. We did have some discussions there about LTE and radio over IP and emergent technologies at our meeting there. After that meeting, I did meet with Tom Lampy from FirstNet actually just this week to have a demonstration of the ROIP and LTE capabilities there. So with that visual hands-on education that he gave me, it was very helpful. And then I'll take some of that information back to the Governance Committee in December. Hopefully have Tom present to the entire Governance Committee, and then we'll still work through with the other committees on how we would best guide Isicsb as a whole to govern and make some policies for that new technology to be used within the system or not to be used within the system. And then we had a short discussion about some discipline-specific encrypted channels across the state. I've been in contact by a couple of chiefs that have had some questions about that. I understand it's something that the Governance Committee had looked at previously before I joined the board here, and have some more information on that we'll discuss also at December. And then hopefully through the committee, have some recommendations through Isicsb as a whole on those 2 topics. So we're in the fact-finding portions of those, the ROIP, radio technology, and then the discipline-specific encrypted channels region-wide.
Excellent. And I know other committees have wrestled with those topics as well. So it might be helpful to reach out to the technology and operations committees.
Yes, and
on those topics.
We've had some background conversations there too.
Perfect.
So we're working through that.
Excellent, excellent. Are there any other questions for the Governance Committee? Great, thank you, Chief. That brings us to the Operations Committee, Chair Erpelding.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Operations Committee met last Wednesday on November 5th. We only had one item on our agenda of old business to continue the work on Standard 2.13.0. We received some feedback from the Technology Committee on improving that document. We are still going through some of the language. We were really close to having it ready for this meeting, but after some discussion, we're going to meet on it one more time and have it ready for the December meeting for a 30-day comment. That was our only item and only business, and that should conclude my report unless there's any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the Operations Committee? Very well, thank you, Luke. The Training and Outreach Committee, Chair Wotan.
Thank you, Chair. Nothing really new to report at this time. Continued discussion of how we want to lay out the training module and go from there. So other than that, we're still in discussion stages.
Very well. Are there any questions for the Training and Outreach Committee? Okay, thank you, Curtis. Technology Committee in Chair Updike's absence, Swick Nichols.
Thank you, Chair. The Technology Committee only was able to make it to the first item on their agenda. That was the Roy broadband push-to-talk over LMR. They talked about that the entire hour and a half and are still in discussions as governance reported out. That's all I have.
Great. Are there any questions for the Technology Committee? Great. Thank you, Haley. FirstNet Broadband Subcommittee, Chair Benson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did not meet this month as our monthly meeting would have fallen on Veterans Day. So we will pick up our regular scheduled meetings next month.
Very well. Are there any questions for the FirstNet Broadband Subcommittee? Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you.
That brings us to other reports. Our first item is the information sharing amongst board members. Are there, oh, excuse me. Are there any board members that have information that they would like to share with the rest of the group? All right, hearing none, we'll move forward to our system administrators report. Al or Scott?
Thank you, Chair. Scott here.
Very well.
3 items to report for maintenance. Our annual RF maintenance is nearing completion for 2025 with 4 sites to be completed yet this week. And this week should wrap up the RF maintenance for the state-owned Isicsb. Currently also investigating some erroneous propane tank sensors at 5 sites. Those sites will be visited sometime this week. It's pending. And lastly, the Adair South replacement tower is now online and fully operational, both for microwave links and RF operation. Removal of the older damaged tower will be scheduled in the near future, and site cleanup work to follow that. Beyond that, I've got numbers for October of 25. Radios stand at 47,158. Talk groups are currently at 3,642. And we had just over 3.2 million push to talks for October. With that, that concludes my report.
Great, thank you, Scott. Are there any questions for our sysadmins? Next on our agenda is the FirstNet Authority, Tom Lampy.
Yes, so I'm completing I've completed all the coverage surveys that people have submitted. I'm going to leave it open for just a little bit yet, but probably by the end of next week, I'm going to gather those, send the list to the broadband committee if that's where you would like it, and I need to have that prioritized so we get a good feel for what Iowa wants. And you can, however you do it, I'll send it to you, and here's what I have and what priority you would want those in, like top 3, top 5, etc. Because there's like 20 or 20 of them. So that's what I'll be doing towards the end of next week. So Mindy, if that's okay, I'll send that straight to you.
Actually, if you could send that to the SWIC, please.
Okay.
I was going to request that as well.
Thanks, Tom. Are there any
Yep, that's it.
questions? Are there any questions for the FirstNet Authority? That brings us to the AT&T update. Is Bart Blank on the line or someone representing AT&T?
Good morning. This is Colton Pospisil. I am
Colton.
covering for Bart. He is actually at IAMSA this morning, so he didn't want any background noise to be in effect. So just a quick update. Bart wanted me to bring out that Most of you are aware we've been consistently going through our towers, updating them to the new 5G C-band spectrum. And you may have seen in the news that we recently acquired EchoStar. EchoStar is the dish network. They were meant to become the fourth largest cellular provider in the country. That did not happen as planned, so they are selling a lot of their spectrum. We acquired a big push into the 5G plus C-band spectrum. What's nice about this is it is a firmware update on all the towers that we have currently updated. This is allowing us to see up to 1 gigabyte of download speeds on majority of our towers that we have already updated to that 5G plus. It will allow for a larger use of IoT devices, video upload, and just in general in vehicle, a much faster, better speed than we've seen in the past. This will lead us to our 5G core build out that will be continuing on in the future. We've already seen these 1 gigabyte download speeds. I know Tom had done some tests in Des Moines. I'm seeing them local here in Cedar Rapids area, and I've got some smaller communities that are also seeing them. So that's what I have for you.
Great, thank you so much. Are there any questions for AT&T? Great, thank you so much. Our next item is update from CISA. Is Chris Myers in the room?
I am Chair Bischoff, and
welcome back.
thank you. It's good to be back. Happy to be back and with everybody again. Really short update for you all. As you've probably ascertained since I'm here, the federal government has opened back up effective as of last night. I don't have any slides prepared today, but I do want to pass on to the group that maintaining vigilance on your communication systems is going to be super important, especially as we start getting into the final stages for planning for events that are happening around the country. FIFA 2026 has a lot of headlines, but there's some other significant events that will be coming, such as this nation's 250th celebration. We have seen documented instances now of every communication system type that we use in this space being targeted by adversaries. Cyber vulnerabilities have been noted to affect 911 systems, CAD systems, RMS, LMR systems, alerts and warnings, you name it. So again, we can't stress this enough. We just came out of Cybersecurity Awareness Month in October. Maintaining vigilance over your systems, knowing what normal looks like, and having that continual discussion with your system provider to make sure that everything is up to date as much as it can be is super important. Our adversaries are not going to take a break over the holidays, so having things set up for that time period and the final planning stages will be super important. I do have several items that I'm preparing to send out to the group with respect to various notices and informational bulletins. These are all rated at the TLP clear level or are shared publicly through other organizations. Look for that in your inbox later today, Chair Bischoff and Swick Nichols, for distribution amongst the board and its constituents and stakeholders. The only thing we ask is that you please not post anything on social media, as always. There'll be a lot of stuff in there ranging from nation state actors to new best practices and other types of bulletins. So that's the report I have for you this month. I can go ahead and take any questions.
Great, thank you so much. Are there any questions for Chris regarding CISA information? Great, thank you so much and welcome back. That brings us to old business. Does anyone have any old business? Next item is new business. First item is adoption of Isicsb Standard 1.70 minimum programming requirement. Swick Nichols, if you could brief us on this.
Okay, yeah, so this has been up for a 30-day comment and we received 0 comments on what we are asking here. The main changes are that the Technology Committee added the sub-regional language in here to include local talk groups or sub-regional channels, and that also in the recommended procedures and management sections, because there is no reporting or recording of what is programmed in outside agencies' radios, and there is no checking or auditing of that, that language has been taken out for actual procedure. So those are the changes. No comments came in.
Excellent. Are there any comments from the board regarding or questions regarding this item? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt ISIC standard 1.7.0 minimum programming requirements.
Vote the motion.
I have a
Colby
motion.
will, Colby will second.
Yep, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adopting ISIC standard 1.70 minimum programming requirements, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Our next item is adoption of ISIC standard 3.3.0 radio ID and talk group allocation. Swick Nichols, if you could brief us on this item.
Okay, yes. So this was reviewed in the user group committee. It was also put up for a 30-day comment, and we received 0 comments during that time. The main changes you'll see in the red lines are that the language reflects that the Isicsb board approves user applications throughout the policy or the standard. Currently it references the user group committee who actually reviews those, but we changed it to say that the Isicsb board approves. And then in the management section is actually the major changes. This has been brought up to current practice because what it says there doesn't actually happen. And so we've changed it to align with current practice. And there's not these regular yearly audits.
Years.
Great. Are there any questions or comments regarding the information Swick Nichols has shared with us on the standard? All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt ISIC standard 3.3.0 radio ID and talk group allocation.
Purple Dangle motion.
Is there a second?
Colby will second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adoption of ISIC standard 3.3.0, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Our final item in new business is the approval of a 30-day public comment on Isicsb policy 2023-2.g, policy and standard adoption, review and revision. Swick Nichols, if you could brief this item.
Sure. So this was reviewed in the governance committee. This is a newer policy. It was actually just created in 2023, as you can see by the date. But it is in the old format, so we need to update it to the newer format. And in doing so, we'll take out some of the whereas statements. But there are also just a few minor changes to this policy that are considered substantial. One of them is that non-substantial changes are going to be reported moving forward as a version 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, for instance. And then substantial changes would be changed as a version change from 1 to version 2. Non-substantial changes can be made by the SWIC at the SWIC's office without board approval. Those are grammatical changes, for instance. And so those are recorded with that dot change. And so that's being put up for a 30-day comment. And the committee thinks that that will be a better way of keeping track of these. And everything else is just putting it in that new format.
Excellent. Are there any questions or comments regarding putting this item up for a 30-day comment? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Colville motion.
Benson will second.
Very well. We have a motion and a second for putting Isicsb policy 2023-2.g, policy and standard adoption review and revision out for a 30-day comment period. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That concludes our new business. Our next item is public comment. Are there any members of the public that would wish to address the board? Hearing none, that brings us to adjournment. I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Benson will make that motion.
Second,
Colville second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all for your time and attention to our board meeting and the business that we've completed. Thanks and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.